Hey, it's a JAT Drive in park. What? I don't know. So it's kind of it's a JAT Drive. So now I've shot a bunch of these, in one day. And so that's why I'm still wearing the same outfit. But I thought I would go through and answer some of your questions because I'm parked and I can then, so it's kind of like an Ask JAT. Look at that. So let's look at some of the questions I've been getting. Adrian Mully, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Adrian. You've asked for ideas on what to talk about during JAT Drives. I was wondering if you could talk about impressions. As a person who tries to do impressions as well, I was wondering how you master a voice that may not be in your range naturally. Best wishes to you and your family. Thanks, Adrian Mully. Well, thank you, Adrian. How do I do voices that are not in my normal range? The truth is, for me, sorry, I'm having a little allergy attack. My eyes are watering. I'm parked near a park, and I think it's affecting my allergies. But this is good. See, I'm showing you this because this is what happens. As somebody that has this big range, but also has a lot of allergies and stuff and has to deal with these things. So the voices that are farther away from my regular voice are actually easier for me to do. They just are, because they're so different and I can just naturally fall into them. However, when I was a kid, I would do voices, but I was always trying to do bigger voices than I am too. Some of it though, I think is natural God-given stuff with my vocal cords. So some of us have vocal cords that are very different than other people. Everybody's vocal cords are different. That's what makes it so amazing. They're like fingerprints, they're all different. So my vocal cords allow me to have a wider range. But on top of that, I work that part of my vocal cords, but you have to do it safely. See, I don't want to give you guys advice to do something that is outside of your range. So if you can't do a voice because it's outside of your range, you probably shouldn't do it because you don't want to hurt yourself. Speaking in a higher voice or speaking in a lower voice than your normal range can be dangerous, and it can be bad for your vocal cords. It really can. It can be dangerous to your vocal cords, to your health of your voice and your throat and your vocal cords. So you don't want to damage yourself by trying to do something that is too far out of your range or is really raspy and everything, and you mess up your throat. So you have to be careful. So I don't really recommend. Now, I mean, most of the voices I do are considered outside of my range because I have a high voice, right? I have kind of this, Michael J. Foxy kind of David Spade kind of voice. Yet I'm able to do this guy, and if I want to speak in a bigger, deeper voice for a long period of time, I can. But that's because of my vocal cords. That's also, though, from me training them and working them. So I know that's what you're kind of getting at, is asking, how do you end up kind of working the vocal cords like that? Lots of humming, lots of singing, lots of vocal stuff. GaryKatona.com, I've told you Gary Katona is a vocal master, and he showed me techniques. And if you go back and look at some of my other videos, look for the ones that are about vocal warm-ups and stuff. And I show some of the techniques I've learned from Gary and some of the things I do. But it's years and years of working it. And so lots of getting my voice into that. Now, some days I wake up and I don't have that lower range. I can't do it. So I have to fake it. So if I have to do It's All New this Sunday on Fox, but my voice is not totally there on a day, I have to kind of find another place to do it. And so I go up a little, It's All New Sunday on Fox. Do you hear the difference? There is a difference. The resonance isn't there, but I'm still able to fake it because I've done those for so long. So I find a different place to put the voice. It's up here. I'm talking up through the mask then, instead of down here in my chest. So it's lots of practice, lots of humming, lots of singing. Take singing lessons. That's going to help you. Go to GaryKatona.com. Find Gary's things. I think he sells some different videotapes and stuff that I think are probably relatively affordable, because a one-on-one with Gary is not very affordable. And you have to, of course, live in Los Angeles. So anyways, okay. Adrian, I hope that helps answer your question. You have to kind of know what you can and can't do. And if it's something you feel like you're really close but you just can't get it, just keep working on it, but don't hurt yourself, okay? All right, let's go to another one. Let's see, who else? What do we got? Kyle Knight says, I'm hoping you're having an awesome day. Thanks, Kyle, I am. I love your JAT Drives and was wondering if you might be able to do one sharing your thoughts on what individuals growing up today can do to make their corner of the earth a little better. As a young adult, I still struggle sometimes with finding the right organization to put my time and energy into. I'd love to know what type of humanitarian work you enjoy doing or experiencing, or even what organizations you are currently a fan of and why. Also, I love your work as Obi-Wan. You have a genuine quality of kindness that makes each video a fun experience. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful day. Sincerely, Kyle Knight. Thank you, Kyle. That's very nice. I think it is important to have organizations and humanitarian things that you can do. And, you know, I think sometimes we kind of think of it as, well, that's what celebrities do and that's what people with money do. No, you can do it at any level. You can help at any level. If you're, you know, involved in your church, you can help and feed the homeless. You can go and, you know, work in a soup kitchen. Things that are near and dear to me, adoption. Obviously, my daughter is adopted from China. Domestic and international adoption is near and dear to my heart. Fostering kids, I think that's a wonderful thing. If you're a kid, though, and you're not going to do all those things, but you can help with those places. I'm at a dog park right now, and I'm watching people walking their dogs. I'm very passionate about animals. I love animals. You know, I think so often people would think that somebody that is a firm Christian may have all these beliefs that, like, you know, they're not. A lot of times there's kind of this bad rap that Christians might be, you know, really like overly conservative and not care about the environment and all that. I love the environment because it's why we're here. Okay, I mean, it's what keeps us alive. I'm a tree hugger, I suppose, in that, and I love animals, and I love whatever helps keep animals healthy and alive. And I think that's important. So Humane Society, go and help out at the Humane Society and become involved there and stuff. That's tough though, because then you get really involved with different animals, and sometimes it's hard when they then get a new home and stuff, but you can certainly help with animals. There's lots of different things that you do there. Again, most of the stuff that we would do, I would do through my church. So if you have a church, you connect and you see what are the different missions. You know, you can go on mission trips. My wife did that when she was younger. She went to Mexico. They help build houses. Habitat for Humanity is a wonderful resource in that. So Kyle, I hope that helps. I appreciate your kind words, and I hope that you find the right services to get involved with that really fit you. But just ask yourself, what do I like? What do I like doing? Do I like animals? I like being around animals more than I like being around people. Do I like people? Do I like the thought of helping the elderly? You know, I mean, something I'm very passionate about, another thing is, and I do this from time to time, is go and you share at a senior center or a home or what have you. My daughter would go and play piano at them and such. And I do readings, and you know, you could read for the blind. If you're somebody that is interested in reading and stuff, you could do books on tape and read for the blind. And pretty much every neighborhood, or not neighborhood, every city, I think, has places where you can go and read for the blind. You could read stories to young people at the library. Go to the library and say, can I help, and can I read at story time and stuff. There's so many different things you can do, especially if you're somebody that's interested in using your voice or whatever. So I would say that. So Kyle, thank you so much. Let's see, what do we got here? Brendan Schaaf. Hi, James. I'm Brendan, aka Undead Ban. I love your show, and that must be your name online, right? I love your show and everything you do. Can you give me a shout out on your next show? It's my birthday. Thank you for everything and inspiring me. Sincerely, Brendan. So, Brendan, happy birthday. Happy birthday. May the force be with you, Brendan. The force is strong with you. Happy birthday, Brendan. Stay totally awesome. Yeah, but never do. It's your birthday, Brendan. Okay. There you go. I don't know. There's a bunch of shout outs as different characters. Okay, what do we got? Jimmy Rodus. I hope I'm Rodus, R-H-O-D-U-S. Jimmy. Hello, Mr. Taylor. I was wondering what led you to voice act our favorite Jedi Master, Obi-Wan Kenobi. What was the path like? When did you voice match for Ewan McGregor? And what was the first game you played Obi-Wan? Sorry if this question was asked before. Just really hope you get the full story. Okay, so I have told this story before. It was many years ago. It was going 17 plus years ago now, 2000 or 2001. Almost 18 years ago that I first voiced Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it was for the Clone Wars micro series, and then all of the various video games and things that Revenge of the Sith, and then other ones, Battlefront 2, and the original Battlefront 2, not the new ones. Not on those ones yet. No Obi-Wan. I don't know everybody. Tell them you want Obi-Wan in it. I know everybody is, and hopefully it'll be me. And there you go. But, ooh, I got a text. Sorry, where was I? I had a text. And I got another text. It's Padme Amidala. She's texting me. You know, the senator is always texting. So see, people always ask, you and your Clone Wars friends, you and your Clone Wars castmates really friends? Yes. I'm in the middle of doing a Ask JAT, and I'm getting text by Padme Amidala, Catherine Tabor. Okay, so yeah, Obi-Wan did Obi-Wan for all those things and micro series and all that, and kind of the rest is history. So there you go. All right, Jimmy. Hope that answers that question for you. Let's see, Tiffany Garrison. Hello, Tiffany. She says, hi, James. Wanted to ask a short personal question if I can. I've always dreamed to be in the music and film business since I was a little kid. I interned at a Christian production company, and we learned a little bit about being Christian in the industry. I wanted to hear from you and see what it's like being a Christian in the industry for you. What are some challenges you face? I heard from a couple people in the business that denied certain roles because of their convictions. Have you also ever got to share your faith with anyone and help lead them to the Lord? Hearing stories like that always gets me and so many so excited. Thanks for all you do. That's Tiffany Garrison. Well, thank you, Tiffany. Yes, I have been very blessed to work in this industry. I turn down a lot of projects, usually video game projects now, or a lot of cartoons. I did a cartoon a long time ago. I've talked about this many times before, called Drawn Together, and it was a very adult cartoon, and I did it because I loved the guys that put the show together, and I got the role before I realized what the content was going to be. Normally I would turn down that kind of content, not because, you know, it's like, well, how dare I couldn't say such a thing. But it's just not, I try to do stuff that my daughter could watch. And so if it's something that I know that my daughter couldn't watch, then I try to not be a part of it, just because it's just, that's just me. And I like family friendly entertainment. I like doing stuff that's all family friendly. And I'm just not somebody that cusses in real life or does a lot. So it's just not part of me. So anyways, yes, I've had to turn down roles before, and let's see. Being a Christian in this business, look, you can be a Christian in this business as much as you can be anything else, a Buddhist, Muslim, an atheist, a Jewish person. It doesn't matter. You just have to know what you believe and how you believe and why you believe, and be able to articulate that and not let it get in the way of your work, or not let it become something that dominates when you are working. Obviously, I mean, you know, yeah, I'm a Christian, but when I go in to do an episode of a cartoon, I just do my work. And so, you know, I think that we put stigmas on things, and we have to just learn to just kind of be people. That's what I try to just be, the best person I can be. And I'm certainly, if somebody wants to ask me about my faith, I'm happy to talk about it. I talk about it here on these JAT vlogs because it's pertinent to who I am, and these vlogs are personal, and these vlogs are me telling you who I am, because all of you that are interested in that. And so I try to just kind of talk to you about my faith, just in very matter of fact, as what it is and who it is and what I am and in it. I can, maybe not on this one, but I'll do a very specific vlog at some point to how I came to become a Christian, you know, a true Christian. I grew up always knowing who God was, but I was not in a Christian home. But that's for another story for another day, because we're just doing the Ask JATs. But have I ever got to share my faith with anyone and help lead them to the Lord? I have. And that's always wonderful. That's a wonderful thing. And I hope that I'm helping people here to see that being a Christian is actually a very normal, very cool thing. Letting God into your heart and letting him speak to you. So, you know, that's what it is. That's what I try to make it for me. And thank you for the question, Tiffany. I really appreciate it. Here's one. Let's see. George Chavez. Hey, James, I'm curious to know if you've ever completed the Final Fantasy X game yourself, and if so, how did it feel to play a game that you know has your voice as a main character? Like, do you ever go, oh, this is the scene where I had to say this certain thing, or anything like that? Thanks, and keep up the good work. Well, thank you, George. Yes, I have played through Final Fantasy X. I've needed help to play through it. It's, you know, I'm not always great at all the battle stuff. I used to be really good at all of it. But I've seen through the whole game, obviously, when we recorded it too. But so then when I play it, or if somebody else is playing it, it was a little both of that, where somebody would play and then I would watch and then I'd play and to get through it all. But yeah, I think it's a fantastic game. I think it's fun. And I do have memories then when I see the scenes and I go, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember being in the booth. Even right now talking about it, and here it was all those years ago, 17 years ago or whatever now, I can still see perfectly where I was, looking through the window, seeing Jack Fletcher, the director, and all of that, and the engineers and everything. So yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of great memories with Final Fantasy X. I'm so grateful to all of you that have listened to my story. And if you know the game, you know what I mean by that. That's a line from it. Yes, this was the one. I answered some of these. Peter Witherow? I hope I'm pronouncing your name right there, Peter. He asked me all sorts of questions. He's got, talk about some of your best and worst experiences as a voice actor working on a project, regardless of whether it was commercial you did or a show or whatever. Stories are always fun to hear. Best and worst experiences. You know what? I try to not go to worst experiences. I really don't. Best experiences, well, it's certainly working on Clone Wars is one of the best experiences I've ever had on a show. I always enjoyed working on Johnny Test. I love working pretty much on anything that I do. I love the promo work that I do. I did some earlier today. I love it all. I just love the work that I do. Fun stories. It's always fun when you walk into a session and there's a celebrity or somebody that you admire in the room. I've had that with everybody from Dick Clark to Michael York to Stan Lee, Jon Favreau, Sheena Easton, one of my first sessions while I was working on Atlantis, Milo's Return, which was a TV show originally, and the very first episode, I was in there. I get in, and me and this actress are there, and we're sitting in the lobby waiting to be called in to do work on our show, and I'm talking to her, and I realize it's Sheena Easton. Did I have a crush on Sheena Easton as a young man growing up in the 80s? Come on, For Your Eyes Only and all of, she's just gorgeous, lovely, amazing singing voice. What a talent. And she was the funniest, nicest person, and so great to work with on Disney Atlantis. That was fantastic. George Takei was in there. Oh my. And he was fun to work with. I got to work with so many wonderful people there. The first time I worked with Clancy Brown was on Atlantis, and that was so fun. And then Clancy and I, of course, have worked on countless cartoons together. And Tom Wilson, one of my best friends in the world, was on Atlantis, and we worked together. And I remember I said to him at the time, because I was doing Milo, who was voiced by Michael J. Fox originally, and I said to him, you were probably expecting, to work with Michael J. Fox here. Sorry to disappoint you. And because, everybody's always asking, what's Michael J. Fox, like all that. And so, of course, I said, you were probably expecting him. And he said, no, I was expecting some schlub like you to be doing his voice. and we instantly became friends. So, no, wonderful experiences. Bad experiences, there's always bad experiences in work, but, you try not to put too much into those thoughts and memories of those. And you also try to take those experiences and make the best out of them. And what did I learn from that? And how can I have, sure, there's lots of times where you're in sessions and you're just like, I can't believe I'm having to read this 75 times, literally 75 times. And you're like, okay. And the person is just not getting it, or you're not clicking with the director. Those things happen. They don't happen that much, but they do happen. So the best, those are some of the best. The worst, we don't need to worry about them. Talk about how you found your faith. You very lightly touched on this subject. Okay, so I said I'll cover that in another one. Talk about your thoughts of The Last Jedi. It was a very diverse movie for fans, so hearing your thoughts would be interesting. I'm in The Last Jedi. You can hear my voice in there. Place your bets, all bets are off. I'm in the casino there, and I'm also various other characters throughout the film, The Last Jedi. I had a wonderful time working on that film with Matt Wood and Sam Witwer and David Collins and so many wonderful, Tom Kane, many other wonderful actors and actresses doing our voices in that. And I loved doing that because the cool thing was I got to see a lot of the movie before it came out, quite a while before it came out. And so that was wonderful. And I remember one day when we were in there voicing all the voices for it, Mark Hamill, who is, of course, a good friend and for many years, and he had come out, he was doing his ADR for the film, where he was replacing dialogue. And he came out and he's like, oh, wow, you guys doing background voices right now? Oh, I wish I could stay and do that too, because he loves all of that. and we talked. So we had a wonderful time working on the movie The Last Jedi. So my memories of The Last Jedi are more so working on it. But as far as the film itself goes, I leave that up to all of you that are fans of the movie to decide what you think about it. So talk about any video games you played as a kid, if you played them at all. I played tons of video games. I was but I'm a product of the 80s, so I played Pac-Man, Dig Dug, Frogger, Defender, Battlezone, all those. I had a ColecoVision as a kid, and I still have it. I have it in my house. And that was an amazing video game system. And the Atari, I had an Atari 2600. I loved all of those. Talk about what are some of the biggest changes you've noticed. Okay, I covered that one and the other one. How long do you see yourself voice acting when you retire in the next 5 years? I covered that in another JAT Drive as well. I don't plan on retiring in the next 5 years. Do you think people's perception, opinion of voice actors and voice acting will ever change? Why or why not? I hope it's changing now, and I hope it's changing due to the fact that all of you are aware of all of us and showing Hollywood that we're not just these people that nobody cares about. So I do hope, and I do see it changing, and I do hope it changes more, because I think it's important, because I think we're all just actors as much as any on-camera actors. And if Hollywood would just see that, they could then they could save millions and millions of dollars by hiring us to do the movies when we're the voices of them originally anyways, instead of recasting us with celebrities. So talk about, in your opinion, what makes a good marriage. How do you make it last? Okay, well, I have been married this June 29th, it will be 27 years I've been married to my wife, Allison. We met in high school. We were high school sweethearts. We marched in the marching band together. And I've known her since she was 13 years old. And she is now not 13. I won't divulge my wife's age, but I'm 48. And I was 2 years older than her. So I was 15 when we met, and I'm 48 now. So that tells you how long we've been known each other and all. And what's the key to a good marriage? Communication. Doing what I do for a living, talking, always communicating, all the cliches, don't go to bed angry, all that stuff. Talk it out. Express your feelings, and even if you think it might hurt the other person's feelings, you say it. And even if your feelings get hurt, you say it. Be willing to be wrong. I've said it many times in JAT Drives and other vlogs. I am willing to be wrong. Okay, men especially, you got to be willing to be wrong. Ladies, you got to be willing to be wrong, okay? So be willing to be wrong, be willing to listen. And when somebody's talking, actually listen to them. That's the key. So, do you see that horses just went by? There's people riding on horses. That's really cool. So listening, actually listening to what the other person is saying. That is a key part of any relationship, okay? So there you go. Last one, most important, do whatever you feel like. Seriously, we are your fans, not entitled to anything. We love your videos, and whatever you want to share, we'll enjoy. So do whatever would be the funnest for you and talk about. Hope this helps. Okay, and that was Peter. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate that. So, okay, let me just see. My buddy Jeremy Hunt there. Jeremy, thanks. Just wanted to say thank you for whole family. They really appreciate the content. JAT 365 has been part of our morning routine for a long time. Miss seeing you at Star Wars weekends. Single tear. All right. Thank you, Jeremy. All right. Well, that's a lot there, right? We got some good ones there. Hey, if you have questions for an Ask JAT or for a JAT Drive, you can submit them at jamesarnoldtaylor.com. Go to the JAT Show link and click there, and make sure you choose a topic and choose one of the JAT Show or something like that as the topic, okay? I appreciate it. This is a quiet JAT Drive, right? Because I'm not driving. Appreciate all of you taking the time to watch these, and I'm so glad you enjoy all of them. Hope this gives you a little insight into me here on this Ask JAT/JAT Drive. And there you go. Talk to you soon. May the force be with you.